Hello class, we are gonna make fresh pasta today. Who has made fresh pasta? Nobody? I haven't. I'm so excited! Yay! What is in fresh pasta that's not in dried pasta? Anybody?
Eggs.
Good. Eggs. Have you guys seen how it's done before, like on videos or?
I saw it come up with a maker.
The maker. This is actually
I'm so excited.
a pasta maker. We will try. But first we're gonna make it. So we start with 7 ounces of flour. I use my handy dandy scale. And we're gonna go like this, ready? So step 1 is get your ingredients, right? And your ingredients are eggs, oil, flour, and salt.
Can you repeat?
Eggs, oil, flour, salt. Okay. Step 2 is you're going to make a well with your flour. So this is what's called the well method. This is the method they've been using for thousands of years. You can make pasta in a KitchenAid, but we're going to go back to the olden days. Okay, so we have fresh eggs, right? Would you like to whip them together? You got this.
I really can't.
I'm going to add a little bit of salt, just a pinch. Why do we add salt?
So it doesn't stick, right?
Why else? Flavor, right? Perfect.
That's good.
Yep. So we're gonna start by probably adding 1 egg at a time, right? So we're just gonna add a little bit, just like that. And what we do is we're just gonna incorporate the edge little at a time. We don't want the wall to collapse. Sometimes it will collapse, you just gotta rebuild it. Just like this. You guys are gonna be making your own pasta later this week, so you'll definitely have time to practice. See, I'm just incorporating the sides as I'm keeping the wall up. All right, Michaela, you wanna add the other egg in, the rest of the egg? And then a little splash of olive oil. Why do we add olive oil? Ooh, perfect. Does anyone know why we add olive oil?
To make it not stick.
Not stick, a little flavor, a nice color. Fresh pasta normally has a little brighter color. It's not as dull as box pasta. Gail, you want to take it away?
Huh? Take what away?
You want to try?
Try what?
Try doing this. So all you're doing
Oh, I
is
thought you meant, like,
incorporating.
eat it, like-
No. Just keep mixing, like you're mixing in the edges.
No.
You got this. Yep. Keep going.
But
Just
I'm
like,
not trying to break it though.
no, you're just going like this. Yep. Keep going.
Come
and
on,
don't-
I'm gonna do it till it's done.
Do you want me to?
Yeah. you
Come back?
can-
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just incorporating the flour. I mean, I've done it in a KitchenAid. It will be done in like 2 seconds in a KitchenAid, but this is how we did it back in the day, and this is how I did it when I was in Italy. So this recipe is actually
You went to Italy?
Yep, I went to Italy for a month for school, and this is the recipe we used.
What part?
I went to Sicily and Florence.
Oh, that's cool.
You can also use flour that's durum flour, that's a little more delicate. Fresh pasta cooks a lot less than dry pasta, but you have to be careful because it will get gummy if you let it sit too long. Can you add a splash of oil in? Normally I make a mess by now, so I'm doing pretty good. There's a splash. That's fine. And if the dough gets a little dry, it depends on the humidity in the air. Sometimes we do add a little water. But you guys probably have all the stuff to make pasta at home, which is kind of cool. You can also use a blender. I've done that. I had a snow day in college, and we wanted to make pasta. So we used the blender, bada bing, bada boom. And now we're just gonna continue. Add the sides. If you guys go to Federal Hill in Providence, you can walk down the street. You see some people making pastas in the window. It's kind of cool. Has anyone been to Italy before?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Anyone?
I want to go though.
It was awesome. It was hot though, very, very hot. So now I'm just gonna kind of bring it together.
Combine the dough.
Combine the dough. Step 5. And if it still needs a little, if it's still dry, but I think it might be okay, we can add a little water or oil. But it does look a little dry right now.
Please don't tell me you turned the oven off.
And we're just kneading the dough now. You have to knead it for at least 10 minutes to get the gluten. Is there anything in there? But you see how it kind of looks a little dry and flaky? It needs some sort of liquid. Do you have that water bottle handy? See how it's still too dry? It almost looks like we messed up, but we're still good. Ariana, is she going to grab it?
How much pasta is it gonna produce?
It's gonna produce a good amount, surprisingly. It doesn't look like a lot, but once you like use the actual machine, it's a lot more. So since we're having a little bit of a plumbing issue today, we're going to be high class and use a little bit of bottled water.
Poland Spring?
Poland Spring, only the best for you guys.
No Fiji.
And then this is it. We're just kneading the dough. Does anyone want to practice kneading? Michaela, you ready to knead some dough?
No, Miracle got it.
Miracle, you want to knead?
Of course you want
Would you like to knead some dough? All right, Ariana, a senior, is coming to show us how to knead some dough. First thing first, wash your hands.
I'm gonna wash my hands.
So what we're doing is we're building the gluten. So what step do we need? Knead that dough. 10 minutes, 10 long minutes. My arms hurt. And we got a baker on our hands, so she'll
And
be
then
able
we
to.
have to let the dough rest every
We have,
20 minutes.
yeah. That's the worst part, is letting it rest. Yeah, you gotta let it rest. You gotta see how she uses her little hand and really gets in there. Like, look at the color. It looks has more color than normal, like dry pasta. We can add another egg yolk if you want it to be even brighter. But it's
How do you do that now?
right now you wouldn't. I'm saying if you were to do it again, you can add an extra yolk to make it a little brighter and more flavorful and a little fatter. But like, look how great, you're so good at kneading dough. Yeah, she's got it. That's great. Have you made pasta before, Ariana? No? Well, today's the day we're gonna all do it. Does anyone have any questions?
Does it taste different from dry?
It does. It's a little more delicate. It can overcook very easily, so you need to be careful with that. And the sauces kind of should be creamy or maybe not too heavy because it will kind of lose the flavor. But you want something to nicely accompany it. You can also make ravioli out of this, which you can do later if you have some ricotta. But like, see how easy that is? It looks like elastic now. It looks great. So I'm gonna get a bowl and saran wrap to put on top. And all I'm gonna do is just add a little oil just so it doesn't stick. But if we were in Italy, we'd be using wood countertops, but we're in school right now. We are using stainless steel that is nice and clean. And how does that look? You think it's good? A couple more minutes. Okay, I think that maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, but it looks like it's great. The hardest thing for me is kneading the dough. I get very impatient after a few minutes because I'm like, oh, is it there yet? But we have a pro on our hands, so we are doing great. Any questions? Any kind of pasta you guys had recently? No? No one's had pasta in the last week?
I have.
What kind of pasta did you have? Penne?
Yeah.
Okay, penne.
The swirly one?
The chicken parm with penne pasta.
Sounds good
I
to me.
have that at work.
Yeah. See, so pasta is very cheap. It's cheap to make and it's cheap to buy in a box. So it's very versatile. You can use it in all different cultures. In the Asian,
Done.
perfect. In Asia, it actually was originated in China. Look how, yeah, not Italy. Look how it looks. Nice, right? So all we're gonna do, China, not Italy, is we're just gonna let it sit, right? Just cover it. So we're covering it. Sometimes you can use a damp towel if we're in straight in Italy. We don't want it to get that hard skin on it. The hard skin is not tasting good to us. It's gonna be kind of like gummy. But that should be it. Does anyone else have any questions? Good.
Wait, I think I did